This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we're on the campus of Southern New Hampshire University for this girls basketball Division III championship showdown between the 5th-ranked Orioles of Conant High School and the 6th-ranked Hawks of Hopkinton. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. Raleigh Lakeside Builders, specializing in custom and waterfront homes, shoreline protection, renovations, and full-scale design. Ramontos in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. Now hosting YCN Sports Talk the first Wednesday of every month. And by Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community.
From the Fieldhouse at Southern New Hampshire University, welcome to the YCN Game of the Week. Today, it's the girls' Division III championship game between the Conant Orioles and the Hopkinton Hawks. I'm Bob Lippman. Two very similar teams, I feel, here today. Both clubs are young. Both clubs had to go on the road in the playoffs and come up with big wins. Both teams had to come here the other night and knock off highly rated foes in order to get to this championship game. I'll be working alongside Andrew Zerhide today. Andrew, the Hopkinton Hawks haven't been to a championship game in 15 years, but they're here today.
Yeah, so for the Hawks, we're going to be keeping an eye on a couple of seniors. Number 5, Taylor Signor, she's a guard. She's going to be shooting the 3-ball. And number 21, Abby Houston, she's a senior forward. She's going to be big down low, really hitting a lot of layups. Conant is going to have to D up on her if they want a chance in this game.
Pat Roy in his second year as head coach of the Hopkinton Hawks. Conant on the other side. This is a team with pedigree. They've been to 5 of the last 10 championships. They lost last year, but they fought their way back and will have a chance here today.
Yeah, so for Conant, we're going to be keeping an eye on a freshman guard, number 23, Elizabeth Gagne, and number 30, Mariah Chamberlain. She's a junior forward, 6 feet tall. She's going to be big down low. I expect Abby Houston and Mariah Chamberlain to be really going at it in the paint here tonight.
Brian Troy in his second year as the head coach of Conant. Hopkinton won both games in the regular season. They'll try to make it 3 for 3 and win a state title. It's the game of the week on YCN, the Division III Girls Championship.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
right, here we go. Hopkinton in the green. And they'll go from where we are to the left basket, the close end of the field house at Southern New Hampshire University. Conant in the white. Again, the Hawks won both regular season meetings. They were the only team to win a game on Conant's home floor this year. Taylor Signor brings the Hawks up, and we're underway today in the D3 title game, one knocked out of bounds. Our referees are Bruce Mason, Liz Rayleigh, and Kevin Chapman. Nice support by both communities for a championship game. Conant trying to get a title. Eluded them last year. They lost the championship to their big rival, Monadnock. Here's Steele out on the wing, knocked into the backcourt by Gagne. The ninth grader, got a lot of people talking in this division. She's good. Hawks miss a three. That was Thomas, and it is Gagne with a rebound. Orioles with the ball. Just underway, of course, 8-minute quarters. Strong inside, now a goal for two. Mariah Chamberlain has Conant in front.
Nice move there by Chamberlain, really high off the glass. And that was pretty good defense by Abby Houston as well, so nice job by Chamberlain.
Hopkinton got here with a win over Guilford, the 2 seed the other night. Conant knocked off top seed Monadnock. This is inside the three-point line. No, they're going to give her three on that. 3 points for Morgan McGrath. Hawks take a 3-2 lead. The black line, which you may see, is not the three-point line. That's the college line. There is a gray shaded, a little difficult to pick up perhaps, that's just about a foot inside. The kick ball here, it'll go with Conant, and Hopkinton on the three-pointer with a 3-2 lead.
If you miss any of our local programs on our 3 YCN network stations, you can always watch our YCN shows and games anytime on our website at ycnnow.com.
Ball in the hands of Taylor Banish for the Orioles. Hopkinton chasing in a man-to-man. Bernier and his back over to Gagne, was the leading scorer in their win over Monadnock the other night. 19 points for a ninth grader. Gives it back to Bernier. There's no shot clock, so he can have long possessions. This will be a long three. That would have been a college three. No good for Camry Aho, and the ball goes back over to Pat Roy's Hopkinton Hawks.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramontos in Claremont. Always fresh, always delicious. In addition to airing on our three TV stations, all YCN games are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at ycnnow.com.
3-2, Hopkinton. It's a 5-6 matchup in the championship game. Hawks don't get a good look there. Pressure was good for Conant defensively, denying Amelia Thomas on the shot. Orioles come back the other way. Bernier to the baseline, working against McGrath. They feed inside. Chamberlain looking for another hoop, and again uses the window for her second field goal, 4-3.
Nice move by Chamberlain. The Hawks are going to have to contain her, maybe double team her, try to deny her the ball down low.
Thomas. Kick it back to Houston, back to Thomas. Thought briefly about a three, and her pass goes through and out of bounds. Unable to pick it up there was Katie Meserve. Ball goes over to Conant with 5:04 to go in the first quarter, and a 4-3 lead for the Orioles. They have the ball. Young head coach Brian Troy, in his second year as the head coach of Conant, they've won 35 and lost 8 with Troy as their head coach. Both teams are here today with 17-4 identical records. Big kickball. Orioles to inbound on the baseline as we play at the Southern New Hampshire University Fieldhouse. It's been home to this tournament for quite a number of years now. Also will host the boys Division III tournament that'll run next week. Coming to the top is Bernier. Left side Gagne. Again looks in for Chamberlain. Back out. Gagne off the window, no good. Rebound, McGrath. Hawks will push it up. Just the 3 field goals so far, 2 for Conant. Hopkinton looking for another one, no good. Rebound in the corner, pulled down by Conant. Camriajo, and out of bounds it goes. We'll take a timeout. This is the YCN Game of the Week, the Division III championship game.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
With Andrew Zerhide, I'm Bob Lipman. First quarter continues with Hopkinton trailing 4-3. Low-scoring title game. Maybe a little bit of nerves here early on. Gagne has her pocket picked on the drive. Will feed McGrath on the outlet for the Hawks. Signor on the left side is Thomas. Inside Meserve was bottled up. They'll kick it back around. Drive on the baseline. Thomas will get fouled, and our first foul of the game will result in free throws for the Hawks. Foul to Camriajo, her first for Conant. As I mentioned, first foul either way in the game.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact.
Thomas ties us up, and then this one will be for the lead. This team's last played January 12th. In Jaffrey, Hawks won it 46-33, the only game that Conant lost at home. Hopkinton also held home court last December, the 19th, 41-30. Trying for a three sweep and a state title. It's 5-4 Hopkinton. In the first quarter, we're working towards about 3.5 minutes left. So more than halfway through. Bernier content to dribble, and Banish is even further out towards the Penman logo. In the corner, Gagne on a drive to Chamberlain and rattles it in, and that's 3 field goals for Mariah Chamberlain. And all 6 Oriole points, 6-5. Now the chance of defense come the other way. We got a foul on the arm, and this is going to be a shooting foul. Bruce Mason indicates it's on number 10. Taylor Banish, her first, team second. And Katie Meserve steps up to the line. Puts the first one up, and it rattled out. We had a timeout that was called for. Everybody seemed a little bit confused, even Conant head coach Brian Choi, but it does bring us to a break. With 2:57 left in the first quarter, we've got one more free throw coming. At Hopkinton at the free throw line. It is 6-5 Conant on the YCN Game of the Week, the Girls Division III Championship.
This YCN segment is brought to you by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
We still have one more free throw to come here. Katie Meserve will go back to the free throw line. Unusual for a stoppage of play there to take a full timeout midway through the first quarter, but perhaps Brian Choi saw something, wanted to change things up, and wasn't getting the attention that he needed out on the court from his players. And we're going to get a lane violation now on Hopkinton, and boy, what an unusual stretch there. The timeout's followed by a lane violation, and how the Hawks don't get an opportunity to tie it up. Conant ball. Conant in the white because they're the higher seed, the 5 seed versus Hopkinton, the 6. Pretty give and go. Gagne underneath, and it hit the top of the backboard, so it's Hawk ball.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local game, event, parade, or concert televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, now on DirecTV and Dish TV, contact us at info@ycnnow.com for more information.
Hawks looking for a shot. Gagne reached in to try to get a loose ball and fouls Morgan McGrath, so that's Conant's 3rd foul. Comes with 2:27 left to go in the first. Conant creeping towards foul trouble here early. Right side, Signor comes back to the open player. That's Thomas, and travel. And that was made by the defense for Conant.
Yeah.
Just gave Amelia Thomas nowhere to go with the ball.
Yeah, the Orioles doing a nice job of adjusting to where the ball is going. A little bit of zone maybe in there as well. Nice job by the Orioles.
Back to Gagne. The corner is Banish. Feeds Chamberlain inside. Couldn't handle it. And right there to clean it up is Morgan McGrath. 2 minutes to go in the first for the Hawks, who have just one field goal in the game. Early on, a three-pointer by McGrath. Signor, bounce pass. Meserve looking behind. There is McGrath again behind the arc. A little long to shoot it there. Conant doing a good job in this 2-3 zone to get right over to the shooter.
Yeah, the Hawks having a hard time finding an open shooter there.
Signor, no. Offensive rebound. Houston goes back up strong. Counted and a foul. An offensive rebound by Abby Houston leads to Hopkinton points. Foul on Camry Aho is her second foul now. And a Hopkinton substitution is Krista Amos comes into the ball game. 5'9" senior. The free throw by Houston is good. A three-point play, and the Hawks lead 8-6 late in the first quarter. Under a minute and a half to go. It was a nice play.
Yeah, nice job by Houston. When she originally grabbed that offensive board, I don't know if the Conant defender kind of froze for a second, but Abby went straight to the hoop, got fouled. Nice job by her.
Banish cannot hit from just inside the free throw line. Hawks come into the front court. Signor on the left side for McGrath. Amos in the corner. And a turnaround jumper, no good. Under a minute to go. Here's Bernier. Nearly lost it. Able to wrestle that away before we get a tie-up. 8-6 game, Hopkinton in front. Neither team's been able to open up anything here in the first. A little bit of butterflies, I sense, from playing in a state championship game. Teams were here the other night. Gagne didn't get called for a walk there and saved it on the end line, but to McGrath. Hopkinton will push it up. 20 seconds left. Chance to get into position to get a good shot here. Thomas. The left side is Houston. Now we're down to 10. Got to be shouting it out from the sideline. Signor will get a kick ball with 5.8 seconds. And the ball to Hopkinton on the baseline. Signor to work it in. Thomas long range. No good. A chance to put it back for two at the buzzer is no good for Abby Houston. But the Hawks finished the quarter with an 8-6 lead here in the championship game in Girls Division 3. So got a lot of basketball to play. We'll continue with more of the YCN Game of the Week after this from the SNHU Fieldhouse.